Hello, so we're going to practice another short restorative class today. So I thought what we'll do is start with a little bit of EFT, so some tapping, a breathing practice, a little bit of movement, and then I'll settle you into a restorative yoga pose for a few minutes. So the only thing you'll need, if you have one, ideally you'd have a bolster. If you haven't got one of those, a couple of kind of thick rolled up blankets would be really good. The other thing which you might need would be a block or a thick book, and a couple of blankets would be really useful. So anyway, so once you've got those, we can start. So if we were just to sit for a moment with our spine long, shoulders relaxed away from the ears, and we're just checking with the body for a moment, and you might notice you're holding on to some tightness, tension, stress in your body. So if we just started with a couple of rounds of EFT, emotional freedom technique, that I often talk about in class, or tapping, and then we can see what that does, and we'll move on from there. So we're going to start on the side of your hand. You just tap on the side of your hand. We can just take a couple of slow breaths. Even though I have this stress and tension in my body, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I have some tightness and tension in my body, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I'm feeling a little bit stressed, I've got a lot going on, and I'm holding that tension and stress in my body. I choose to deeply and completely love, honour and accept myself. So that's called the setup phrase, and we're just going to work through the points. So you could use one hand, two hands. I'm tapping with a couple of fingers, and I'm just tapping on the inside of the eyebrows. So just tap along with me. So inside of the eyebrows, all this stress. And on the outside of the eyebrows, the stress and tension in my body. Under the eyes, I feel this tightness in my jaw, my shoulders, in my hips, wherever that might be for you. And under your nose, I'm feeling a bit tense. And on your chin, I'm holding this stress and tightness in my body. And on your collarbones, all this tightness and tension in my body. And under the arm, this tension and tightness in my body. Top of the head, all this stress and tension in my body. And on the inside of the eyebrows, I'm holding on to this tension and stress in my body. Outside of the eyes, and with every breath, I choose to release a little bit of this tension. Under the eyes. Every time I exhale, I feel my body just release a little bit of this stress and tension that I'm carrying in my body. And under your nose, releasing some of this tension and stress that I'm holding on to in my body. On your chin, so I can give myself this time to rest. On your collarbones, releasing this tension and tightness I'm carrying in my body. Under the arm, letting go. And on the top of the head, so I can feel peace in body, mind and spirit. And then take a deep breath. And you could sigh the breath out with a... So that would be a round of EFT. So you can do that again if you would like to. You might want to change the wording, but that's basically the basic recipe for EFT. So from there, we'll just move on to a breathing practice. If you were to take your arms out to the side, open across your chest, wrap the arms around your body. So I'm holding onto my shoulders and letting my shoulders drop away from the ears, closing the eyes. and taking a few slow breaths. So as you breathe, can you feel the broadening across your back? And then as you exhale, you let the shoulders just drop a little further away from your ears. And we can even work to a count with this. We could inhale and exhale to a count of 5. So inhaling for a count of 5. And exhale 5. Inhale 5. And exhale 5. Inhale 5. And exhale. A few more breaths. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhaling. And exhale. You can let go of the body. If you're sitting cross-legged, you might want to just change the leg position for a moment. And then let's just roll the shoulders. Let's see how your shoulders are feeling today. And then we go in the other direction. And then you could take your arm up and reach over to the side. Come up and over to the other. So again, inhale as you lift, exhale coming over. And again, inhale to lift, exhale to reach over. 2 more. So you come up and you reach over, and let's just hold it there for a moment. So you can relax your top shoulder. Thing on my screen. And then we go the other way, up and over. Let's come back to centre. So you can take the feet onto the floor, take the hands behind the back, fingers could be pointing forwards, and we'll just twist. So your knees go one way and the head goes the other. So be gentle with your body, just making movements that are not causing you any discomfort. You might find your hands want to be pointing in another direction. You might find that the twist is not quite so big. Just see what feels right for you. Head goes one way, knees go the other. And then as you stop, you could just cross the ankles. There's one way of doing this. You come up into a more forwards position. So I've got my hands under my shoulders. Knees are hip distance apart. Spread the palms. So if your knees are uncomfortable, you could always pop a blanket under your knees, and we're just going to swing the hips. Relaxing the head. And then as you stop, come back to your neutral position. So if we were to take a rolling cat-cow, so if you were to tilt your sit bones up towards the ceiling and lift your gaze, as you exhale, as you round, could you sit back a little way towards your heels? And then as you inhale, you bring the body forward, so you'll be gazing up. And then you exhale, you round back towards your heels. So again, inhale as you come forwards. Exhale as you round yourself back towards your heels. One more time. Inhale to come forward, spread the fingers. Exhale, round it back. And then you can take the knees a little bit wider apart. You can come all the way back if it's comfortable towards your heels into child's pose. And you might find your head resting on the floor. You might want to make fists and rest your head on your hands. If your head doesn't want to comfortably reach the floor, and you just let the body just soften down towards the ground. So you're feeling the openness across the back, you're feeling the softening through the inner thighs. And then we come up again, hop the knees a little bit closer together, so however you'd like to get back onto your bottom. And we'll set up for our restorative pose. So I'm going to take my bolster and bring it along the top of my mat. So again, if you didn't have a bolster, you could roll up the blanket. You need probably a couple of these, but you need to roll them up so they're kind of fairly thick, that kind of thickness. And then from here, what we'll do is there are a couple of options. So for most of you, it will probably be more comfortable if you have a blanket and you roll it up. You can use a few blankets for this mat. You could take the blanket to the top of your, or to the base of your bolster. And the other thing you might want to do is have a blanket under your head. So there are a couple of options for this. For those of you that come to my class, you'll know that we do this kind of blanket scroll thing where you roll the edges of the blanket in, and then you flip that over and you place it onto the top of the mat. If that seems too much like hard work, you can just fold a blanket up and pop it at the top of your mat. It's going to be a support for your head. So we're going to hold this pose for a few minutes. When we're done, I'll ring my little bell, so you know it's time to think about bringing yourself out of this shape. So what we'll do is we'll set our bottoms up to the blanket, and then we're going to lean back on top of your bolster or rolled up blanket. So this is a support for the lower back, and then legs are straight. So this is a supported fish pose. Again, if this is too much, the other thing to do, if it's too much of a back bend, is you could lift this edge up. You could place a block underneath the top of the block, the bolster, to slightly higher incline. So find this. So the idea of these poses is they're really comfortable. So if this is feeling like too much of a back bend, maybe even lift the head a little higher. You might need more support onto the head. So finding yourself in a comfortable position, and then when you're in this shape, you could cover yourself up with a blanket. I know some of you might have eye pillows. You could put a covering over your eyes or just a little cloth. And then we'll come to rest. So your arms are coming out to the sides. You let your breath begin to slow. Let the body begin to rest. You might feel your feet resting. The soles of the feet, the toes. You might relax the backs of your legs, the fronts of your legs. Maybe you can feel the softening, the release through your hips and your pelvis. And you feel the back of the body just draping over the support beneath you. And then you feel the softening along the front of your body, across the abdomen and across your chest. Feel the opening through your heart center. And your shoulders just drop away from your ears towards the floor. And your arms relax, the hands relax. You relax your throat to the back of your neck. Release any tension in the jaw. Relax your mouth, the tongue and the lips, your cheeks. Relax all the little muscles around your eyes. Relax across your forehead. Let your body rest. Your whole body resting. You might notice your breath. Just noticing the rise and fall of your body as you breathe. And if your mind starts to wander, just bring the awareness back to your breath. Let your body enjoy this opening. It's time to rest. Your whole body resting. Of course, you can stay here for longer if you would like, or if you wanted to bring yourself up, perhaps just rolling off your bolster onto your side for a moment and holding it there for a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, you can just push into your hands and bring yourself up to a seated position. And then you can just rest with your hands at your heart center. Take a breath. May you feel happy, may you feel loved, may you feel joyful, and may you feel safe. And have a very wonderful rest of the day. Namaste.